Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. So in today's video, I'll be giving you 5 mangas that are perfect for beginners, and I guarantee you'll at least find one that you'll really like. They're all very different, from romance to action to comedy, so if you're interested, then please keep on watching. The first manga that I'm going to recommend is Yotsuba, and this one is such a cute, funny, wholesome read, and it's basically about this child named Yotsuba, and you basically go through, there's like 15 volumes. I know it's a lot, but the reason why I'm recommending this first is because 1, really easy to read, 2, enjoyable to read, 3, even though it's 15 volumes, it's as you read each story, you kind of just get sucked in, like with Yotsuba and the things that she sees and encounters and the people that she meets, that each volume makes you want to read the next one. So despite it being long, I think it's a perfect manga to start off with, and it is just so cute, so enjoyable, and it's by the same mangaka that created Azume manga, which is my all-time favorite, like, just comfort read. Well, I didn't read the manga, I watched the anime, but I have no doubt that the manga is just as good as the anime, and it is just the best, honestly the best. And so this author, like, he really has a way of just portraying an actual child's view of the world, and just the weirdness, the funniness, the quirkiness, like all of it. Like, it is just so good. So the next one is for people who want more of like an adult read and much more like relatable. I would recommend Hirayasumi, and basically this is about a guy named Hiroto, and he's 29, and he works at this like fishing pond place, and he basically just lives his life carefree. He lives in a house that was inherited to him by this old granny that he ran into long ago, and the story just follows him and his adulting, as well as his cousin, because she ends up living with him. And so like the things she's experiencing as a young adult, just starting out her life. This story mainly follows Hiroto and his just journey to finding himself, to accumulating himself, to figuring out what he wants, and just shows like a realness of like what it means like to be an adult, and the changes that like adults go through, different types of changes that different types of people go through, and just the realness of what life is like. And also not only like his life in particular, but also the people around him, so like his friends, his cousin who ends up living with him, and just everyone else who's also adulting, whether they're like just starting out to become an adult or they're already like in their adulthood years. You kind of get a glimpse of like adulthood from all ranges, from like young adult to like really late adulthood, and just like the different types of struggles that in general adulthood presents, and what people either go through, whether it's friendship problems, romantic problems, marriage problems, work problems. It's like, I feel like everyone, if you pick up this book, can relate to like either one character and their feelings and emotions that they display. Also, it's very funny too, so it's not like all serious. It's definitely, for me, it was a comfort read, despite it like presenting like adult issues and whatnot. It just felt very comforting. So number 3 is a definitely more fun spy/action/political type of manga, and that is SpyxFamily. This one I've talked about on my channel so many times. Lloyd ends up adopting a daughter who will attend the same school as the political figure's son, and the goal is to try to get as close to him as possible, to get as much information, to get it back to headquarters so that they can stop this like evil political man's like plots and whatnot, whatever he's planning to do towards their side of the country. Despite it having like, I guess, that political side of like east and west type, it's still very fun and very fluffy and very enjoyable. And I think if you're looking for something that like does still have like the political and action stuff, but is not too much into that, and it's also like a bit light, I think this is the perfect one. It has fake family trope, and it is cute, again, like I said, adventure, political, spy, that's the whole point, spy. If you want more action and comedy and maybe less cuteness, then I would definitely say Sakamoto Days is the one for you, and that is my next recommendation. Sakamoto Days is also getting an anime very soon. I think it's next year that it's getting an anime, so now's the time. Now's the time. But Sakamoto Days is basically about a guy who used to be an assassin, but now he's like, you know, living like the regular life until he gets called back into the assassin world. And this one's definitely, again, a lot more action, a lot more adventure, definitely a lot more humor, but it's more so heavy on like the action and adventure part. And especially with like Sakamoto being the main character, being pulled back into like the assassin world, there's like a lot to like discover about like, you know, different types of assassins, and it's just very much like intense. Like if you like, it's more intense with like the whole spy assassin theme than SpyxFamily, and it's so much more like really action packed. It's a really good story if you want like just action and comedy. Like I feel like this is like the manga that you want to pick up. I haven't reached far with this, and I really want to pick it back up, because if the anime is coming out next year, I don't want to be behind, and I just want to be cool with everyone else. And yeah. So the last recommendation that I have, now this one's a romance, and it's called A Side Character's Love Story. This one I just recently started reading. I'm on volume 5, and it is just so good and wholesome. And I'm recommending this because I feel like this is definitely different from like the other types of romances. There's basically two people. They're both, like the title says, side characters. I guess side characters in the sense that like, because they're both really introverted, so there's that. But despite them being like that, they are trying to, both like the female lead and the male lead, trying to express their love for each other and trying to like slowly build some sort of relationship, but also not offend each other. And I feel like that's such an introverted thing to do, you know. And it's like they are very like careful with the things that they say and do, and like take notice like small differences with each other and whatnot. And this story is such like, it's so slow paced, but it's also so real. And I feel like especially real for like, you know, someone who may struggle like with like showing like love and affection and whatnot, or like really trying to like express themselves in general. And it is just such like a nice slow pace, I wouldn't say it's too slow, but it is like, I feel like well-paced story about, again, two introverts falling in love, and they're both young adults. My main points with this manga is that like, you know, it's introverts falling in love, it's a slow read, it's definitely an enjoyable book if you just want to like really take your time and get to know the characters and really get to see the characters slowly fall in love and slowly open up. And it is just it's so cute. It's so cute. And I feel like I relate to the main character, Tanaka so much. That is it for this video. All I have is 5 recommendations. Any other mangas you would like to recommend for beginners, please write them in the comment section below. That reading manga is honestly such like, it's so great. It's so great. I mean, I technically just started reading like around like 2022, so I feel like I'm still fairly new, but there's just I feel like I've discovered this year so many more manga and so many more just like different stories, and it's just been so great. It's a bit overwhelming too, because there's just like a lot, but at the same time it's been so great because it's like anytime I get bored with one story, I can read another one, and I've been just hitting bangers with each one, like bangers after bangers. So like, you know, yeah, alhamdulillah for that. But yeah, that is it for this video, and I'll see you in my next one. Bye-bye.